Let's begin with the heart of what happened. We have two ladies, Tisha and another woman, responding to something Martel said about their husbands during an interview. Right away, you see that Martel's comments stirred up a lot of strong feelings. The women reacted instantly, they were shocked, offended, and felt the portrayal was completely off base. That difference between how Martel depicted things and how they actually view their lives is where all of this tension starts. When Martel made that comment about their husbands, the response was immediate. Tisha said she was blown back. She said she laughed because the depiction was so unbelievable. It really didn't reflect her reality, and she made it clear, "This ain't me," she said. The tone of disbelief and dismissal showed in her voice, you could feel how strong her reaction was. She said the depiction was the fakest ghetto backwoods look she's ever seen. That phrase captured how far it felt from her truth. Next, the other woman felt Martel was trying to diffuse the tension. She suggested that Letitia, someone involved, was deflecting the heat from what Martel said by redirecting attention. That reaction shows how defensive people become when someone else tries to craft a story for them. She made it clear, she's not married to Marshall but Letitia is. That rhetorical point emphasized boundaries. She won't be lumped into someone else's story. As soon as the interview aired, Tisha jumped in. She said she laughed at the attempt to make it believable, but it fell completely flat. Even the attempt at believability couldn't rescue what she saw as an awful depiction. She shrugged it off with a firm "no ma'am." It shows how strong her refusal was. She's setting the record straight on her own terms. Then the conversation turned to what came next. Did they and their husbands talk about it with Martel? Yes, they did. They went live together and spoke openly about how they felt. That public response showed they weren't hiding. They addressed it head-on, letting people see their reaction firsthand rather than letting others shape the narrative. Tisha clarified, she's done letting others create her story for her. She said firmly, she's not gonna create my story no more. That's a powerful moment of reclaiming her voice, refusing to be controlled by someone else's script. In that public live session on Instagram, Tisha said she and her husband were completely honest about their feelings. She emphasized her openness, "I'm an open book." She questioned Letitia's transparency, suggesting there are rumors about her that haven't been addressed publicly. Tisha made the point that if you're upset about someone, you should speak directly to them, not talk behind their back. That call for direct confrontation over gossip speaks volumes. In agreement, the other woman echoed that sentiment. She pointed out she doesn't hold grudges anymore, she's released all her baggage. But she does reserve the right to choose her words when necessary. Everyone agreed, if there's an issue with someone here in this space, they'll be confronted directly, not discussed behind their back. It's about honesty and accountability. Tisha then mentioned something about flus, possibly a metaphor. She said she told Kim she wasn't sure about the flus. The word might be figurative, but Tisha left it ambiguous. Maybe she means rumors or unseen reasons behind behavior. She even mentioned Chris and a statement he made, suggesting the statement sounded more like legal protections, like signing an NDA. That implication hinted at something deeper than surface-level talk. Tisha clarified, she can't control everything her husband says, and she stands by him no matter what. That loyalty came through clearly. She acknowledged fallibility and accepted that she doesn't have full control, but her support is unwavering. They then discussed how Maurice felt. He felt upset because he thought Fletch had betrayed trust by making a statement. Even if the information was widely known, Maurice felt his name was used in a way that bothered him. He expected respect and confidentiality, even about commonly known issues. That's a really human reaction, feeling hurt by the way your name is handled, no matter how public the context might already be. When Kimmy conveyed that Maurice felt bothered by Fletcher's comment, it struck Tisha deeply. She said it hurt because she holds no bad feelings toward Maurice, and she didn't think Fletcher did either. But she felt it was necessary to talk it through. That moment highlights how relationships can be complex. Misunderstandings can happen even when people think they're aligned. Stepping back, this entire exchange reveals a lot about storytelling and ownership of narrative. Tisha and the other woman made it clear they own their story. They don't want someone else, or even someone close, to remake their story into something they don't recognize. That may sound simple, but it takes courage to say it publicly. Next, let's think about the emotional layers here. Shock, offense, empowerment, and reclamation. You can feel someone being upset that their identity was misused, but then reclaiming that identity. Tisha's laughter in response wasn't moralizing, it was deflating the power Martel thought he had. Then, speaking live with her husband was a powerful reclaiming of space and voice. It signaled transparency and unity at once. The poem of honesty and directness flows through the second woman's comments too. She emphasized speaking directly to people when there's conflict. She spoke of releasing grudges. That's self-healing in public space, letting people know that she won't entertain drama off stage, but if drama arises, she'll meet it with her own voice. There's also a loyalty theme through both women. Tisha's loyalty to her husband shined through when she said she can't police what he says, but she will stand firm beside him. Maurice's feelings showed how trust gets tested even among close relationships when expectations of respect are broken. Discussing it out loud was healthier than stewing in silence. Their interplay shows a commitment to authenticity. They resist outside scriptwriting and emphasize personal accountability. They openly admit frustration, skepticism, humor, and boundaries. They voice support for their partners while insisting on mutual respect. That combo is part of their message: choose respect, choose speaking your truth, choose transparency, choose direct handling of issues. What does Martel's initial portrayal tell us? That sometimes people try to craft narratives that don't match the reality of individuals' lived experiences. In response, people must push back. They must reclaim their stories. They must refuse misrepresentation. That's what's happening here. It's not just reaction, it's a reaffirmation of identity. Wrapping up. This episode shows how important it is for people to tell their own stories on their own terms. When someone else tries to do it for them, they push back, loudly. They choose transparency and direct communication. They call out deflection and struggle with unclear loyalty. They release the unnecessary weight of grudges. They resist being defined by someone else's narrative. And above all, they show that you have the right to say, "That isn't my story anymore." This script you've crafted today can guide viewers through every emotional beat, from shock to laughter, from frustration to empowerment. You've given them a voice that will help viewers understand why reclaiming the narrative matters so deeply, and how honesty and assertiveness can reshape how others see you.